And so our approach with our rangers is focus on interpretation, welcoming people to the park, and obviously safety. If there are big safety issues, we want to make sure that they're on top of it. But so we have new uniforms, and they really used to be, they look a little bit more like sheriff deputies. Now we really try to identify them as park rangers. So here, of course, you can see we have our budget, we have where we get our money from, and we are really entrepreneurial. In fact, I don't know if it says on here, or I might get to it in a minute, but we are probably the best, most self-supported regional park district in the country at this time because of our support of the people that live in this county. And it's really exciting too because we have our partners, the Open Space District, the Open Space and Ag Preservation District, which with the new ballot measure in 2006, it provided money. It kind of shifted the focus, and people recognizing, yes, we want to preserve our viewshed, we want to preserve our open space, but we also really want to get out on these properties. So the Open Space District had bought properties, including Taylor Mountain Regional Park, North Sonoma Mountain Regional Park, which is the trail connection between Jack London and Bennett Valley. The Coastal Prairie Trail, in addition to Sonoma Valley, the Coastal Prairie Trail we're building out at Bodega Bay. And so we just completed a section. We just repaired and reopened Los Alamos Road on Hood Mountain. It's fantastic. And of course, right here, a few years ago, the Laguna Trails, which we're going to be expanding. One of the most recent projects that might be of interest to you is on our third round of applying for this. We received from Caltrans $200,000 to study the feasibility of connecting Petaluma and Sebastopol with the trail. Because let's face it, that's a missing link here. You can go from here to Santa Rosa. We're in the process, I just actually presented to the Board of Supervisors yesterday on a trail that we've now done the feasibility study connecting Santa Rosa and Sonoma. And what a giant missing link here is from Sebastopol to Petaluma. And particularly with the SMART trail, because the SMART train, hopefully the SMART trail, we're hoping happens. But to connect these things up so that you can get around this county, you can have that great experience. So for this particular grant, we're moving forward with this. We've gotten support from the Bike Coalition and others, raised some other money. And much of the railroad right-of-way, most of it's privately owned now, and there's a lot of private property. It's not going to be easy, and we certainly have the utmost respect for private property rights. So we'll be working our way through this in the coming months. We'll be having workshops. Please go on our website, SonomaCountyParks.org. You can just put in Sonoma County Parks or Sonoma Parks and go on planning updates, and you can plug into that those meetings to determine how that trail is going to look and where it's going to go. Another thing that's really exciting for this area is the expanding network of Laguna de Santa Rosa trails. So you can see here, hopefully, these are areas that include the trail that we've just opened off Highway 12. So there's the Redota Trail here. And so we have a trail going up here, which I'm assuming many of you have walked on. And we're going to be expanding the trail system, and the whole goal here is to make sure that the Laguna is protected. As we bring people into the Laguna on this trail system, we want to make sure the Laguna is protected. We've also had some issues with that trail due to the shifting of the Laguna, and I know it's not exactly perfect, but we're working on trying to get those repairs done. I will say that we don't have funds for these projects at this time. We're always looking for grant sources for that. Future Sebastopol projects. I'm really focused on getting Regal, continuing to improve Regal. So we did sort of a facelift on Regal, you may have noticed, in terms of the entry, the fencing. But personally, I cannot believe that there is only that one restroom at Regal way over by the dog park. We have to get a regular restroom on the other side of Regal. There's a few things I always think, well, I can't leave this job until I've done this. Maybe stay in some trouble on top. No, it's we want to improve the sport fields, the courts, the restroom. We have major improvements on that Laguna Trail that I just told you about, on the Joe Redota Trail. We have a lot of money that we need there to start fixing the bridges, cracking. We've been working on the homeless issue as you go to get in near to Santa Rosa. We're going to continue working on that. It's a continuing problem, but I think it goes to somebody you were speaking earlier about helping the homeless in this county. And this isn't just a matter of going and moving people along. It's a matter of helping people that have serious problems. And I can tell you that I personally try to do that we don't just come and move people. We try to make sure that we're working with Catholic Charities, that there's housing, that we have a team called it's a host team, which helps people when they come off the trail to try to figure out where they can go, how they can get help, how they can move to something better for them. We also recognize the benefit of trails as tourism resources, and we're working quite a bit on that, which leads me to my next point, which is something that we introduced at the beginning of December to the Board of Supervisors. It's called the Sonoma County Integrated Parks Plan, or SCIP. And that is the first comprehensive parks plan that has been done in this county for many, many years. And our department is coming up on 50 years. And what it does is it looks at what are the trends, what are the important trends that parks need to integrate with: recreation, tourism, agriculture, transportation, health, education. And so for each of those, we said, what are the trends? Like, let's just take agriculture, for example. What is the trend? Local food, ability to access local food. We have our farm trails program. How do we integrate parks into that? How do we make it so that our trails have signs, so that, for example, on the West County Trail from Green Valley Road, there's that great blueberry farm there. I don't know if many of you have been there. It's just fantastic. But you're riding your bike, you're feeling like and then you see this little blueberry farm, and it's signed, and you know it's there, and you can get one of their great ice creams or whatever. I mean, that's the kind of thing that takes this kind of system you have with a park here and a park here, or a trail here, and pulls it all together in a system that makes sense. And that is really our goal in the SCIP. Please go online and look at it. We have our draft. It's been introduced to the board. We're going to have a couple more meetings on it before it's adopted. And I can talk more about that in the queue when we have some question and answers if you're interested. This is an example of the maps that we have in the SCIP. And again, it's kind of hard to see on this. But for this area, for example, we're showing here hiking trails, Class 1 bikeways, scenic routes. We have water access points, smart stops, points of interest, historic districts and landmarks, agritourism destinations, lodging, food. We really want to integrate with the economy of what's going on. We want to help drive people, both residents and tourists, to your businesses for their benefit and for your benefit. And we want to point them out. Where are they so that we can... So what we did, and it's not really shown that much on this map, but we have an existing condition map in SCIP, and then we have where we would like to go. And this is, we didn't introduce anything new. We took all of the existing plans, the open space plan, the bikeway plan, the pedestrian plan, we integrated it all into this in one place. So for me, for parks wonks like me, it's so exciting to finally have this, and I'm very much looking forward to it being adopted by the board. Finally, like any park department, we have funding challenges. I will tell you straight up, I do not ever think of something as an obstacle. I always think of it as an opportunity, because a funding challenge is an opportunity to turn new people on to parks, turn new donors on. And I always think, and I know you do too, of giving money as a big opportunity. I see it every time I come to a Rotary with the way you guys do your $20 thing and all of that. It makes you feel good. And I really feel that people, when they can give money and see the benefit at a park, whether it's simply planting a tree or creating a whole new park, what could feel better than that? So yeah, we have challenges. There's no question. We do. We don't have a separate funding source for parks. We don't have a separate parks district. We rely on the general fund partially. We have deferred maintenance issues, like the bridges on the Joe Rodota Trail. And of course, we want to acquire more parks. We've got, just to give you some figures, 140 miles of trails, 170 buildings, 54 bridges, 43 parking lots, 25 sport facilities, and 10 playgrounds. And most of these are going to be requiring some maintenance, most if not all. And we really also have limited program staff. I really want to expand the programs, particularly bilingual programs and outreach to the Hispanic community. Although I really feel that they're using parks, that community is using parks more and more, and you really see it in areas like Taylor Mountain. So on that note, I'd really like to leave some time for questions. Here's my contact information. Please call me anytime. Come by the office. If you're not a park member, please become a park member. I really cannot emphasize to you how much it means to us to have your support. So on that note, I'd like to hopefully have some Q&A. We've got about 10 minutes or something. Yes?
I actually have two questions. One is, I'm interested in the land pass program and how it interfaces with the park. And then secondly, if you could tell us a little bit about more about the proposed links between Catalina and Sebastopol. Sounds like it's going to go along railroad, right? But anyway, land pass and Catalina Sebastopol.
Great. So we started Land Pass. I believe we started it in 1996. It was myself and 2 other women. And the reason we started Land Pass was because the Open Space District had bought some land up on Sonoma, by Hood Mountain, what became the McCormick property. State Parks was unwilling to take it, so we needed to have an interim management entity. So we created it basically as a nonprofit that would manage parks until such time as the state park would take it. And obviously it's evolved. We hired Craig Anderson, who many of you know, several years later. And so Land Pass has never lost sight of its mission. And the mission is to connect people to the land in a really deep way. And Land Pass does it with Bayer Farm, where they have the community right there in Roseland, growing food, having parties, really having their own plots, and really connecting that community to up in Occidental. They manage growth-filled trees, which is an old growth redwood grove, which just allows people to go in, just have a peaceful moment among the old growth redwoods. We saved that grove. I don't know if you know where it is. I'm sure some of you do, but it was set for logging, and during my early days of Land Pass, we stopped that project from that area from being logged. So Land Pass has become more and more gone from a park management entity to a land owning entity and pulling programs on their own land. So they have their Mark West property, Rancho Mark West, where they have their owl camp and kids camp. They've got the Bohemia property. They run programs out there. It's just fantastic, fantastic. So they're a partner to us. You know, we're sort of more of a large organization responsible for all these parks. We have to build trails. We have to, you know, we're not as program intensive. Having Land Pass in our community allows them to take it to the next level and use the parks and the open spaces to really connect people. So that's what they're really about. And I would recommend anyone to please look at their website, get on their mailing list. They have the most amazing trips and outings. It's fantastic. As far as the trail goes, the problem with the trail is that railroad right-of-way is mainly privatized. So my concern about that trail is that most of it will end up on the road. And on part, just off Highway 116. I don't know, we'll see as it develops, but the bottom line is it's going to be tough. But we'll get it off the road wherever we can. We'll connect it with the smart trail. This study, this feasibility study, what that's about is determining the alignment. So we're at the very beginning of that process. So I can't tell you any more because we're just starting it. But I do know that by and large the railroad, there's not a lot of public land. Like on that Sonoma to Santa Rosa trail, the water agency owns a lot of the land from Molita, quite a ways down, a couple miles, 3 miles, 4 miles. So that's easy. We just run it on water agency property, and here we don't have that. This is going to be a challenge. Yeah. Please.
I'm wondering, what you see on this fine map that I now have?
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, I put maps on all the tables, and I'm going to talk
It's
about
terrific.
Yeah.
That there are 6 camping spots in the regional arena. Is there any plans to increase the amount of opportunities for campers? For instance, new people into the county, that kind of thing. And then a secondary question is, how do you fit in with the state park system? And is there any real spillover and coordination with that?
Those are great questions, and I don't want to forget to talk about, I gave you maps and I also gave you information on our program for companies that are interested in buying bulk memberships as part of their wellness benefit or health benefit. But to directly answer your question, okay, so the first question was on the camping. So we have 3 campgrounds on the coast, if you haven't been to them. They're incredible. Walla, which is right on the river under the redwoods. We have Stillwater Cove, overlooks the Pacific and has redwoods and this beautiful cove. And then Doran, which is just an amazing camping experience right there between the Pacific and Bodega Bay. And then we have Spring Lake Campground, and then we have camping up at Hood. So that's basically it. And the Hood is hiking camping, which we've expanded, because I'm a big believer in the benefit of backpacking, especially the Boy Scouts, young kids. Now they can hike a couple miles and Hood and have that backpacking experience. So one of the places that I really like to see us expand, we have a plan to expand camping, is at Steelhead. Because, for one thing, Steelhead has some vandalism issues, and if we had camping there, it would be a new use, a positive use, and people would love to camp by the river. There's not that many opportunities to do that. I'd really like to expand the camping at Steelhead. Up on Taylor Mountain, we're going to have an environmental education and kind of a camping up at the top. On Hood Mountain, we just have a new acquisition called the Lawson acquisition. Same thing on Walsh at the top of Sonoma Mountain, where we have little cabins that we're going to retrofit and make it so that you can hike in without your stuff. And then you get to the little cabin, and there'll be like mattresses there and cooking gear, so that you don't have to carry all that stuff up. And same thing at the top of Sonoma Mountain. So these are all in our plans. So yeah, I really want to expand the camping. And for that matter, I'd like to have a visitor center at Doran too. I think that would be a benefit, but you have to work with the community on that. So what was your second?
The second question was about the state parks and how
Oh, yeah.
how you intermix with the state parks.
So as was mentioned in my bio, I was for many years the chair of the State Park Commission. I was involved with state parks for many, many years.